It's time to pay another of our regular visits to the Bob and Ray Hobby Hut, a special feature conducted by Neil Clummer, editor of Wasting Time magazine. Neil is nationally known as Mr. Hobby himself, and I see he's getting set up over at our other microphone with his special guest for today. So we'll just let you pick it up from there and carry on, Neil.
Well, thank you very much, Bob. I think the gentleman here beside me has a collection that will be the envy of every hobbyist. His name is Carl Dickert. Of course, that immediately rings a bell with all you listeners who collect odd-shaped fruit and vegetables. But for the benefit of the non-hobbyist, I wonder if you'd tell us something about your collection, Carl.
Yes, I'd be happy to, Neil. My collection consists of odd-shaped fruit and vegetables, and I've traveled all over the country to assemble the prize pieces I brought with me today. I'm always reading in the paper about somebody who's grown a Hubbard squash in the shape of an elephant or something like that. So I usually hop the next plane to go dicker with the owner about buying it for my collection.
And I assume you keep the specimens in these paper sacks that you brought with you.
Yes. There aren't any ready-made albums available for displaying strange items of produce, and buying plane tickets to travel around the country picking up the stuff takes a lot of money.
Sure.
So I cut corners by keeping the collection in 238 separate paper sacks. I brought about 20 of the best ones with me today.
Well, it's too bad that there aren't any albums available for what you collect, Carl.
There aren't.
But I see that you have labels neatly pasted on each sack telling what's inside. And where you got it.
Yes, I try to put all that information down while I still remember pertinent details. Like this one here, you can see it identifies the contents of the paper sack as a cluster of 5 carrots, all grown from a single seed and attached to each other at the top. I obtained those in August of 1974 from an elderly gentleman in Minnesota. And here at the bottom it lists the price I paid, $3.25.
Well, it's certainly cheap enough for an unusual specimen like 5 carrots all attached to each other.
Yes, the old man needed money, so he let them go cheap. And of course, my transportation to Minneapolis from my home in Florida ran almost $400. So I have more invested than you might think.
Yes, I'm sure you do. And I notice another sack here that's labeled cantaloupe in the shape of a dill pickle. Well, now that's hard to imagine. I wonder if you could remove some of your prize specimens like that from their sacks so we could, describe them for our listeners.
You mean you want me to open the sacks?
Yes, if you don't mind. I don't see you have a strip of tape across the top of each one holding it shut, so it shouldn't be too hard to put them back after we've seen them.
No, it won't be hard, so if you're sure that's what you want, okay.
Oh, boy, that smells terrible.
Yes, I know.
Boy.
That's why I couldn't figure out why you wanted me to open the sacks. Some of this fresh produce is 4 or 5 years old. See, the date on this cantaloupe in the shape of a dill pickle is September 14th, 1972.
Get away from me. I don't want to see the date. That stench is really overpowering. Boy.
Yes, that's why I keep the specimens in sacks with the tape across the top that way.
Oh, boy.
Doesn't seem to be any way to preserve odd-shaped fruit and vegetables, so they keep their odd shape.
Well, all you've got there is garbage, actually.
I suppose you could say that, Neil. But, of course, I can visualize what each item looked like when it was still fresh. That's why I always take a plane to go and pick up the stuff, so I can see it at least once before it decays. I'll take this one here. It's a tomato that grew up in the shape of a chicken.
Oh, boy, that's awful. Hey, that smells worse than the first one.
Yes.
Oh,
a 3-year-old tomato that's not refrigerated will tend to do that.
Oh, hey, would you close those sacks and seal them up again, please?
I thought you said you wanted to see the stuff.
I changed my mind now. Will you get all that stuff out of here? Oh, boy, What a stench.
Yes, I guess it's really not the kind of a collection I should put on display.
Oh, boy.
So I'll just take it and leave. Goodbye.
Well, that seems to close out another of our informative sessions here in the Hobby Hut. So until next time, this is Neil Clummer, urging all of you to have a good day and find a good hobby.